All right, we're rolling.
We're rolling?
We're rolling.
Okay, hey everybody. And so I'm in here in the shop doing something special for you guys because we miss you and you can't come in. And so we're doing something new and different. Trying to adapt, keep it fun. So this is one we're gonna do today. Believe it or not, it is almost Christmas-ish. It's coming now, faster. And so we're ready, and this is something that we do in the shop a lot when they come in. We do classes. We talk a lot about drop-in bouquets. It's super versatile. I'll just show you really briefly a couple things. So this is what we call a drop-in bouquet, guys. And the reason is really apparent. You make your bouquet and then it drops into a container that you already have or that you choose to purchase. These are great for lots of reasons. One, when the season is over and you have this and you love your container and it is seasonless, this can exist. But this guy can get stored, come back out for the next holidays. But for right now, since we're going into Christmas, we've chosen to do a really beautiful, we love texture here, we're branches, so we love anything that's southern. So we've got magnolia and berries and eucalyptus and juniper and pine cones and cedar and pine. And the really awesome stuff about all of it is that it feels real, it looks real, but it's not real. So it's one less thing we have to stress that about right now because we're all full up. We're all full up on the stress. So what it is here is we're gonna drop it into this container today. So that's what we're working on is our little drop-in bouquets. And the other little thing, just really briefly I wanna touch on is that it's a wicked good gift. And so we have in the store also these really cool little boxes. And so we have we call this the Diffie, which is we did it for you box. And you're gonna get the bouquet to send. You're gonna get a little roll and pine candle, which smells like you're in a Christmas tree farm. Like that, little single wick cutie. And then you also get a really, really cute little cardinal ornament. So these little guys are in the shop. They are ready to ship. You can send them to your friends. You can send them to your work colleagues or your clients. You can send it to yourself, whatever you want. We also have them in a DIY, which is similar to what we're about to do. So the DIY, you're gonna get the candle, you're gonna get the ornament, but you're gonna get the components of the bouquet. So that's what we're gonna jump into today, is the components of how to make your own drop-in bouquet. So you will have received at this point in your life this little bouquet where I have thoughtfully and painstakingly provided you everything you need to be successful. I've set you up. So you have a couple pieces of pine, which we have cut to different lengths. You have a couple pieces of a mixed cedar pick. Yes, this has some little cool wormy guys on it. Those are supposed to be there, don't panic. You have a piece of juniper, which we love because of the little blueberries, and it's kind of a little coastal nod, which we're digging on the blue right now. Even with reds, you can do blue and red, it's okay. We have a little lotus pod that's whitewashed. You have, depending on your bouquet choice, you have either a red berry or a white berry. You're not gonna have both. You're gonna have red or a white, okay? You're gonna have some long needle eucalyptus, which is real touch, which is really, really beautiful and also has a blue tone. You're gonna have some rounded silver dollar euc, which looks like a silver dollar. You're gonna have the real touch magnolia, which is really kind of like super helpful. I'll show you why. That's where we're gonna start. And then, because we all still believe, we have a jingle bell, just because he's fun and he makes cool sounds. So we're gonna even have a little Christmas jingle jangle going on here. You're also gonna have 2 pieces of floral wire. You really only need one, but in case one of them breaks, you have an extra one. It's always good to be prepared.
Thinking it through.
Always gotta be prepared. And then you are, again, depending, if you have gone with the red, you're gonna have a piece of red velvet ribbon. If you have gone with white, you have a natural burlap. And more than anything, as we move through this, you wanna make it your own. If you're an asymmetrical person, if you're a symmetry girl, if you have a different take on this, just go with it. I'm just giving you kind of a really quick how we do it in the shop. But again, you make it yours, you own it, you do your thing. You do your thing, girls. So we're gonna start with the magnolia. And this is why we love him. We talk a lot about, same as a hydrangea, but we talk a lot about in fresh or faux the bouquet work. So when you do bouquet work, you will want lots of hands, because flowers like to slip and slide. If you have a magnolia, it is basically a hand. If you look, it has all these little leaves in it, which gives me all of these little areas in here of space that basically hold, like little fingers, they're gonna hold everything in place. So this is your helper, this is your third hand that you're gonna want as you move through this. So you're gonna choose either your red or your white berry. Cool thing about this also is that it is waterproof. So a lot of times, if all of our berries in the shop are gonna take full weather. So if you choose to add fresh to this, like we'll talk about it at the end, this can take the water, it's not gonna bleed. That's super important. So I'm gonna slide that into one of my hands, I don't wanna go on the outside because we're just gonna end up smushing. A lot of us wanna smush. So I want you to go ahead and find your area and slide him through there and let him sit kind of amongst the leaves. Do I wanna ram him down in there? I do not want to ram him down in there. He is wired so I can kind of shape him open. I can let him kind of do his thing. So that's my first little touch. Then I'm gonna start kind of finishing out some of my center points. I'm gonna go ahead, got my little whitewash, also has a little sound. I'm gonna slide him into some of those little leaves. And I want him to kind of sit down. The cool thing is that when you're looking down to my bouquet, you're gonna have different levels of highs and lows. I may go ahead into my juniper. So I'm working in my threes. I've got one here, one here. I'm gonna go ahead and measure this guy out and balance him off of the other side. And I can move my leaves, even though they're faux, I can still kind of open them up and manipulate them just a little bit. And so I'm gonna just move him into the side over there. You guys, again, you can do whatever you're feeling at the time. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna slide in some of my eucalyptus. And so I'm really just, if you look, it's what we call the crooked triangle or even star design. So you can see I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm working off of my points. I'm kind of moving around so that no matter what side that you work on and what side you sit on, I'm doing something interesting. So it's pretty all the way around. Now if I pull everything down too deeply into here, I'm not gonna see it, so it's kind of a waste for him to even be there. I'm gonna go into my other eucalyptus. And I know I get the question a whole lot. I know we never work in even numbers, we always work in odds. It's a good rule of thumb. It's totally out the window because I'm about to go into twos. I'm gonna let him wiggle out of my berries a little bit. And then I'm going to my long needle pine. This guy is great. Everybody's wired, so again, you always want to take the time to shape. I know you guys have heard me say it before. There's nothing worse than unshaped faux florals. It will give it away. If you don't take the time to shape it like it really grows in life, it will totally be like, hey, look at my giant fake floral on my table. It's not cool. I'm gonna ask my assistant, Olivia. Olivia, will you go find the little red tulips for me? They're right over there on the other side of the macaroon case. Just a little bundle of red tulips, please. So again, I'm taking the time, I'm gonna shape him. I'm constantly kind of readjusting and moving. I can do that because he's faux. If this was fresh, I could not change him. So I'm gonna balance that off my other side. And I'm gonna take the time to give it a little growth bend. So I can always adjust, I can shape, I can move, I can totally change my mind. And then I'm gonna go into my mixed cedar. And it's kind of like, it's like bird nesting. I'm coming around my edges as such. And then I'm gonna balance him off the other side. So we want him to be full, we want him to be balanced, but I really am. Like a lot of times I think we're too gentle. I'm pushing this guy. He's got a strong wire in him, he can take it. We'll rough him up a little bit. And then, my sister likes to say I have compulsive shaping disorder. It's true. I'll touch it like 947 times. So I like what I have. My assistant can't find my tulips.
I only found the ones in the jar.
You're fired as my assistant. I'll take the one, look on the bottom shelf behind the golden retriever paintings. All right, my little jingle bell. So I wouldn't want to hide him off to the side because he's cute and he's fun. He's something a little more whimsical. This could be a starfish. This could be an oyster. This could be an ornament that you have that maybe A lot of times in design, if you think about this on a larger scale, if you have an ornament that you loved, maybe you broke, or maybe you have an ornament that you just don't have a place for, this is always a fun place to put them. Oh, my assistant, you are rehired.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So I'm gonna put him though, kind of in this little center point. Now at this point, you can see I have a lot. I mean, I have probably 12 or 14 different wires here. So we want to just keep ramming things to the sides. I am constantly sewing, and really sewing is I am threading it through the center. If I just ram all of this into one big bouquet, that's exactly what it's gonna look like, is just a giant rammed bouquet. It's not attractive.
Not pretty.
It's not a good look. Don't do it. After this, I will come to your homes and I will check all of this socially distantly. I will be out there. Bring me your floral. Check it out. Make sure he's not rammed together.
We'll get a grade. We'll be
That's
graded
right.
last.
It'll be graded. All right. So I'm kind of liking what I have here. So I've got some highs. I've got some lows. You can still wiggle. Now, if the Amazon package is delivered to my door right now and I drop this guy, the whole thing's falling apart. Or if the cat needs out at my house, like it needs Fancy Feast right now, right, assistant? The cat would be meowing for Fancy Feast. If you drop this, there's
You
my
just
assistant.
hit it and knock it out of your hand on purpose.
The cat would do that. My assistant is very helpful. All right, so I need to wrap this out of my hand. So I'm going to take my wire. I'm going to literally kind of, this is where you do want that third hand. This is not fancy, but it does take strength. You are going to pull this tighter than you think. I'm going to come around it. I'm going to use my fingers. You want some serious tension on this because this is the only thing that's going to keep you from losing all the work you just did. I'm going to garbage twist tie that thing around a few times. The other reason to make it really, really tight is if I choose to come in and shape him a little bit open, if this is too loose, I've kind of lost my ability to do that. Then I'm just going to take this extra guy. I'm just going to kind of wrap around him and then close him back off again and twist tie him that way. So there's that. So there's my bouquet. So I can go back in, I can keep doing my thing. I can shape and shape and shape and shape and shape. So this is where I am right now. At this point, what we're gonna do is I have the red berries. So if you have the red berries, you have the red velvet ribbon. There's really no, if you're a bow girl, if you're not a bow girl, you can kind of choose what you want to do with this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pretty side of my ribbon. I'm gonna lay it up against my bouquet, kind of a little longer than I think, about the height of my bouquet. And then I'm gonna start wrapping this just around. So this is a wired ribbon. Both of them, the burlap and the red, are wired. So they're super easy to work with and reshapeable. So if you're not digging on it the first time, you can take it off, no worries. But I'm just gonna wrap to cover up my wire, to cover up some of my ugliness. And then when I get to about a point that I like, all I'm gonna do, try and do this reverse for you guys, is I'm just gonna tie a loose knot, kind of trying to get my pretty red facing forward. Like that. And then again, because he's wired, I can do kind of a cute little thing. Assistant, may I have some scissors, please?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So while my assistant is getting scissors, same with the burlap. The burlap is wired, the burlap is the same length. So you're gonna do the exact same thing. This is not attractive. We don't want that, do we? No, we don't. So we're gonna come in and clean up my edges so that if it's seen, so it just makes a nice little finished edge. And at this point, you have a couple final choices here. You can grab my container that I'm choosing to use. If you can see, this one has blunt ends. So this is really the only thing that I wasn't able to provide for you today. If I drop him in like this, it doesn't work. So you do want to come in and clean up your ends so that when you put him in a container, he sits nice and flat and full. So you're just going to use regular wire cutters, regular household wire cutters, and then he will sit much prettier in there. Now, here's a couple little tricks, and then I'll let you guys get going. We're going to pretend like I'm having company and I wanted to have a little bit of fresh. So we're going to pretend that these are my little fresh tulips. If that was the case, because everything in here is waterproof, I can add some fresh to this. So if my girlfriends are coming over and we're going to have a cup of coffee, then I can use these tulips. I'm going to bend mine just for sake of. And I can slide them still through here. I can add a little bit of water so that my tulips can drink, and I can still add some little fresh components to this. You could do, you could cut fresh pine or fresh cedar out of your yard for the smell. Roses would be beautiful in this, and something that's a little more elegant. You could do a white and red mix, could be really, really pretty. I mean, you can really this is just a good versatile thing. But because everybody is happy to take a little water at the bottom and your berries won't bleed, I can add a little bit of a fresh touch to this and he's good to go. So this will always be there, but then I can add my little fresh touch and I'm not having to recreate every time I have anyone over. So showing you this, if I chose to make him my little centerpiece, he's a great little size. I can make him a little bigger. If I chose to drop him low, see how he becomes a different little guy? I can set him there, and then I could even run him down my table, add some more length to him if I wanted to add a couple little candles on either side. He'd be pretty with some really tall tapers. If you dropped him into something in brass, he would be a way more elegant piece too, so he's super versatile that way. Or I could even come in and do, assistant, may I have that, please, thank you so much. Some really pretty cones on either side. So there's lots of different ways that you can make it your own. Again, this is a great thing for you guys to do yourself. It's a great thing to gift. It's a great thing to give. So I guess that's it on my drop-in bouquet. So you're going to receive all of this and everything you need. I hope you have a really great time. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's not stressful and it's fun. You don't take it too seriously. And remember, you can take it apart and redo it as many times as you want. I hope everybody's well. We miss you in the shop. Come in and see us. It's super Christmassy around here. There's glitter in my hair every day. We miss you. Happy holidays. Thanks for listening to me rant like a crazy holiday elf for way too long. Appreciate you, and we'll see you later.